Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I got Edward right here.
Oh, man.
Hold on. Let me get Ed.
Thanks.
Hi. Who?
And Mike.
And Mike.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Ed, this is unbelievable. Obviously, you're my hero, you know. And the thing of it is...
Tell me why first.
All right, let me remind you of a couple of things.
Because you stopped drinking, Eddie.
No, that's not true. In fact, I should learn from you.
I thought you meant that for real.
Because I drink way too much. So I'll have to get some lessons from you on that.
Well, how old are you?
41.
Okay. It's time to quit.
Yeah, same as you.
Hey, Eddie, you know, I often wonder this because, you know, a lot of people quit drinking and rock and roll. They quit partying, and they always say they're so happy and everything is better. But I always wonder, you know, do you miss it a little bit?
Wow.
You do.
No way, nobody's really ever asked me that. I mean, I've been sober pretty much 2 years. I slipped during the Twister Project. Because, you know, it all depends on what's happening in your life, you know. I mean, it's very easy, you know, when you're just totally stressed out and everything's going wrong to go back to what you know.
Yeah, because given all the Dave and Sammy crap, I'd think you'd have to have a beer.
I don't even mention their names, okay? I respect them both. No, really, I respect them both. You know, when I listened to when Glenn Ballard and I were remastering the Best of record, believe it or not, all I could think of was good memories.
Yeah.
Well, I quit
both of them, and look, they both chose their own path. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, hey.
Well, how many questions can you tolerate about former lead singers before you get really bummed out?
Yeah, you're probably so sick of it.
Well, just ask me, and I'll stop when I'm when I've had it.
Okay.
What was so complicated about? Now, I really followed the whole thing all the way. It was like, we're going to make these 2 songs for this greatest hits thing, and you know, that's it. And then we don't really know beyond that. Now, I thought it was pretty simple, and then got.
I'm telling you, unless Alex, Mike, and I, and Glenn Ballard, and Irwin, our engineer, were not here, I don't know what the hell happened.
It's amazing.
When we were here, everything was very clear.
Right.
I mean, Dave even quote-unquote said, it started out with just one song.
Yeah.
That's a great song, by the way.
Yeah, it is a great song.
Well, thank you very much. But the first song was Me Wise Magic.
Right.
Now, granted, you know, he hadn't sang for I don't know how many months, so he's a little rusty, and it took a little longer than we expected to get the song out of him, you know, the performance.
Right.
And, but he was a trooper, and, you know, he did a great job. He even said, when we were done with that song, when I said, do I do another one? And he goes, wow. I mean, this is like the first and only time that he has ever, like, thanked me.
Mm-hmm.
In all the years I've known him, he said, you know, Ed, I appreciate this so much, man. Anyone else would have just thrown their arms up in the air and said, man, one's enough. Get the out of here.
Yeah.
Beat that out.
yeah,
no problem.
We'll fix it.
The F word.
It's fixed.
But,
yeah.
You know, but he even quote-unquote said, hey, if it all ends tomorrow. This was like a week into it, you know? He goes, if it all ends tomorrow, at least we're friends now.
Wow.
And I got a chance to do it with you guys again. And so I really thought we were friends.
Jesus.
And that's the first thing that went out the window, and it just blew me away. I was depressed for 2 weeks after that MTV.
Yeah, with that MTV,
you know,
we saw that. Wow.
He goes on to say that the only reason he did the MTV award was because it was some kind of publicity stunt. It was not at all. You know, they to do it, and he was all up for it. I'm the one who didn't want to go because I missed Wolfie's first day at school.
Mm-hmm.
The open letter to the world was really that kind of bizarre, wasn't it?
You know, it's like the first paragraph ends, Eddie did it.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I get into this, I go too far. But, I mean, come on. We basically zoomed him from Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And what a zoo that was.
And I tell you, it was never alluded to, or, hey, every other day I would have to tell him, Dave, you're putting a cart in front of the horse. We don't even have a song yet, and you pull a muscle in your leg preparing for a tour. Anyway, enough about that.
Okay.
To put it very simple, and from my heart, the truth as I know it, okay? Sammy was frustrated, and he said to me, quote unquote, yes, damn it, I'm frustrated. I want to go back to being a solo artist. Okay? Now, if I said to Al, Mike, and Sam, I'm going to do a solo record, does that mean that they fired me or I quit?
I mean, that you quit.
Okay. Sammy quit.
Right. But you know, at the MTV Awards, it was so obvious that you guys were uncomfortable in that environment. I mean, it really...
For one, it's, you know, I just didn't even want to be there, you know? I wanted to be with my son.
Well, he was so out of control. I mean, he immediately grabbed the microphone. You and Alex couldn't get a word in edgewise.
I had no idea. You know, I all just broke loose up there.
I always thought it was great when you moved him aside. That was hilarious.
I tell you, but when I watch it back, I look like an idiot.
No, you don't. No, that's true because everybody was feeling that right there. And it was like, yes, because it really was out of hand.
Well, you know, I guess what bothered me more is the fact that, you know, when Beck was trying to give his acceptance speech, you know, Dave was standing right behind him, you know, shaking his ass and doing stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
That was the worst of it. It's like, come on. You know, it's not about you, Dave.
Well, you're probably tired of talking about this, so let's talk about Gary Cherone. What's going on there?
He is smoking.
Yeah?
It's working out.
He's incredible. There's not a hint of LSD, which is lead singer disorder. Right. He's just a wonderful guy. But we're running way behind just because so much stuff's been happening. It's like, you know, originally we were going to take the high road, you know, not respond to Sammy or Dave's BS at all. Mm-hmm. But with the internet and people saying, oh, wait a minute, how can they both be wrong? You know, and we had to do all the press and stuff, which kept us from being able to work in the studio for a month and a half. Mm-hmm. And then my mom got ovarian cancer.
Oh, boy.
And my wife's in Park City, Utah for the last 2.5 months doing a miniseries, so I'm Mr. Mom.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, for the last, almost 2.5 months, every morning I wake up at 6:30, make Wolfie's breakfast, make his lunch, drive him to school, 2:30 I pick him up, and, you know, sometimes I have someone to watch him after school, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, hey, that's kind of funny. What's it like for, you know, Eddie Van Halen showing up to pick his kid up at school? Do they make a big hoo-ha about it?
That's wild.
Well, believe it or not, the teacher trips because, you know, when I meet other people, I go, hi, I'm Eddie, who are you? You know, just, you know, meeting people. They go, oh, I'm nanny for so-and-so.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all nannies.
Yeah, because that would seem like it'd be weird, like when it's parents' night or something. There'd be like 3,000 fans or something.
I do the PTA meetings, everything.
Eddie in a PTA meeting.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I tell you.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Like, I can't just shuffle them off on a nanny.
No, I know.
You know, I mean, every now and then, yes.
So when you selected Gary Cherone, was there anybody else that you know we really know about that you were thinking about, or came down to 3 or 4 guys, or was it just obvious?
For one, it would be pretty. There's no point in mentioning anybody else because it would be like rubbing it in that they didn't get the gig, so to speak. You know, but there was only one other person, and he was an unknown guy. And I'm not even going to mention his name. Mm-hmm.
But Eddie, you'd boost his career.
And the guy was an incredible. The guy was an incredible singer. I sent Gary a tape of this, you know, real simple pop tune, and I actually sang a little bit on it to give him the direction of how I wanted the song to go. You know, getting the beats here.
Where are you, Eddie?
In the studio.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just asked him, you know, sing on it and send it back. And he sent it back, and I'm just going, whoa, this stinks. So I call Ray, our manager, Ray Daniels, and I go, this Garrett, I mean, did you is he coming out for sure? What am I going to do with this guy all week? He goes, look, we already promised him, so look, if nothing happens by Wednesday, we'll just send him home, you know? I tell you, he showed up 10 minutes after he was here. For one, immediately, the vibe. He's just such a normal guy. I mean...
Down to earth, eh?
Oh, I mean, he just fits right in. It's like I've never worked with anybody who's as giving and open and I don't know, it's true collaboration.
What would you compare his singing style to? Is there a way, like a mix between maybe this guy?
I can't compare it to anyone. I don't know if I can say this on the radio, but he's got elephant balls from heaven and hell, and he can sing like an angel. He can do anything.
Yeah. Were you, after you got the demo tape back, were you ready to kind of let him down real slowly? Like, hey, guys, don't get too...
I actually told Ray, not to have him come out.
Yeah.
But, Ray said, well, we promised him. So anyway, he came out, and about 10 minutes after he was here, I just, immediately the vibe was great. I said, hey, Gary, feel like singing? He goes, well, I guess that's why I'm here. And we just blazed through 6 Van Halen songs, 3... Say, I'm not knocking him,
Yeah, but I can...
Anyway, we're tuned standard pitch, and he just blew our minds. And so I had the cassette that he sent me, sitting right here. I'm going, who is this jerk on this because he just blew my mind. It was a whole different... he just walked in and just blew our minds.
See, that's something I've heard. Is this true that he probably doesn't have any problem singing any of those songs? And
Not at all.
Do you think, Ed, you'll be doing things like Summer Nights or Mean Streets, something like that?
He will sing anything.
Yeah.
He even said that, hey, if we're playing somewhere in Roth or Sammy are in town, let's get him on stage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how what a beautiful guy he is.
Well, that's one less problem when you go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At least Gary won't mind.
Yeah. Well, you could tell him you guys made it.
Believe it or not, I won't mind either.
Yeah. It seemed like...
Well, no, it should be
it's not like we did anything wrong.
No, it should be a lot of fun.
They made their own bet. It's not like... we're a band.
Well, you could definitely see Dave could not hit those high notes anymore, and we were kind of wondering, like, gee, I wonder on tour how that would go, eh?
Well, it would be totally out of the question.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to do for the money. I mean, the money thrown at us is probably more than the gross national product of East and West Germany put together. It's not about that for us, man. It really isn't.
We got this transcript of one of his shows he was doing, this kind of Vegas routine. It was really frightening.
Oh, it was bad. Oh, it was embarrassing.
Well, look, I still respect the guy. I mean, I tell you, we have so much music, it's ridiculous. We have enough for 3 albums. Serious, and it's just a matter of, because all the stuff that's been kind of getting in the way, with my mom having cancer and all the BS with the interviews and this and that, and
well, don't let us get in your way, Eddie.
Yeah, there's no end to it.
No, I mean, I owe you guys this. I'm supposed to do this like that, 5th anniversary.
Well, there have been so many jokes about it because Mike here is the biggest Van Halen fan. He knows everything about you. He's online constantly, and so the first time you were supposed to call, when you didn't call, listeners and our producer would call for weeks on the hotline. They go, "Hey, Mike, it's Eddie." And it got to be a terrible running joke every time the hotline rang. Oh, this is probably Eddie. Mike goes online, onto these Van Halen sites, and allegedly someone claiming to be Valerie comes on. When somebody says something really bodacious and some BS about you, Eddie, someone who alleges to be Valerie comes online and corrects them. Is that Valerie?
Is that really her?
Right. No, she's my wife. She sticks up for me.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
You ever get on the internet, Ed?
I don't know. I'm like a Unabomber. I'm totally anti-technology.
Yeah.
It's like, thank God that they haven't perfected sampling or computerizing a guitar.
So do you have people, Eddie, if you need to fax something, you just say, here, you fax this, or whatever.
I don't know how to run any of it. Wolfie knows how to run a computer better than I. Swear to God.
Hey, Ed, let me ask you, for 316, is there, I'm just trying to learn the guitar, but are there some basic chords involved there in picking that thing?
It's very simple. It's just an A, and it's it's an A chord,
okay,
then a suspended A, and then a suspended B. So it's like,
stop writing this down like it means something to you.
Get the thing tuned down right. It's hard.
So A.
Simple.
Right, Ed. A suspended.
It is. You get 12 notes, toss them up. If it sounds good, it is good, period.
Eddie, you really are like Unabomber. You hate technology, but when it comes to your guitar, there's this absolute precision. It's almost like, Unabomber's bombs. Because you used to...
Hey, don't say that.
No, but
don't blow up, I hope.
No.
But the way he takes apart guitars, Drew, I mean, it's unbelievable.
But didn't you used to use it? I mean, didn't you used to literally select the lumber and get the chainsaw and do all that stuff?
Yeah, but I've ruined a lot of great guitars doing that, too.
Yeah.
Now, was that...
I've learned a lot from it, too,
Was that partially to guard your own personal secrets? Because I read somewhere that you used to play with your back to the audience so that, your secrets would be safe.
Well, that was kind of Alex telling me, hey, wait till we have it on record because they're going to rip it.
Yeah.
When I started doing the two-hand technique.
Yeah.
And as soon as the record came out, everyone did.
Oh, yeah, everyone did. And then eventually Stevie Vai was claiming he did. It was ridiculous.
Oh, of course.
It was just ridiculous.
They all came up with it.
Hey, Ed,
That's okay with me. I don't care.
What scales do you mostly use?
Just 12 notes. I try to use them all and mix them up and whatever sounds good.
So you never stick with anything like in particular that you work with all the time? You're just all over it.
I can't read music. I don't know what the hell I'm doing if it just sounds good.
It's there.
Hey, you guys have so much history with, the two eras, and now you're moving into an entirely new thing. Are there a lot of archives like the Beatles for an anthology sort of thing, Eddie?
Oh, man, there's so much music. It's ridiculous.
Would you ever go through it like they did and dig through those old gems and different versions of songs? Does that appeal to you?
I'm going to have to one of these days. Hold on one second. The tape library back there? Yeah. How many hours of music do you think is there? Thousands of hours of music. What we did years ago was... instead of writing down on the box what was on tape, we numbered them and put it in the computer, and when you punch up the number, it would say what was on the tape. Okay, and it was I'm not slamming Radio Shack, but it was a Radio Shack computer. The thing took a dump on us, and I went everywhere. I'm talking use aircraft research. I go, I need the information off this hard drive. Nobody could get it out.
Oh, no.
So we got thousands of hours of music, and I don't know what the hell's on them because they're not labeled. All they have is numbers on them.
Oh, God. What a pain in the ass.
So like I say, right now, I wrote that back in '83, and that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That was on there, So every now and then, I prefer to... Because it takes a long time, man, to go through tapes and listen. Because a lot of it is I'm just jamming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe out of a 2-inch tape, a 15-minute tape, there might be 5 minutes of something in the middle that's great. It's easier for me to write a whole new song.
Did you even highlight anything, Eddie? Did you highlight it or star it or any way of knowing that something's good?
Numbered them.
No wonder you hate technology.
Yeah, what an immense pain in the ass.
If I had to go through all those tapes, it would take me years.
Oh, God. Because that's the thing, isn't it? That you've got just literally... hundreds and hundreds of songs that are really just sitting there just waiting for lyrics, don't you really?
Well, believe it or not, the thing is, when Dave and Sammy were in the band, we all kind of just approached it like, okay, well, you get Sam and Dave, since they're the singer, you get first dibs on the vocal, on writing the lyrics. Mm-hmm. But I've always written lyrics, and Gary's very open to it.
Yeah, and in fact, there was a rumor that you're actually going to sing on one of these songs in the new record. Is that true?
Well, I kind of have to because he handed me some lyrics, and the first time in my life, the lyrics just inspired me to the point where when I went down and sat down at the piano, the man upstairs just gave me the whole music. As long as the song is how long it took to write.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up singing it. Because the lyrics were just so moving that, the next morning I played it for Gary and goes, is this kind of the vibe you were looking for? And he was just going, this is incredible. and my voice kind of sounds like a cross between John Waters and Tom Waits.
Well, then again, you used to sing, though, in the very beginning, didn't you?
Years ago, but I never
learned
learned
history.
I never technically learned correctly how to sing.
Yeah.
So I would kind of do a Kurt Cobain, and after five songs or 3 beers, my throat would be gone.
That's right.
I would just scream it out and not, and waste my voice, and then we just go straight into Cream Jams and just play.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Eddie Bleepin' Van Halen on the riff. WRIF 10 after 8, Drew and Mike with Eddie Van Halen, and oh, for God's sakes, Eddie was just playing a little stuff from the new CD for us during the commercials, which cannot be played over the air.
I know it. He actually lit up his guitar with the amps and the whole 9 yards, man. God damn it. It's so good. It rocks.
When are we going to hear some of that stuff with Gary Cherone?
I think we're really going to hammer down after the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're running behind, but it's just, family first.
Oh, yeah, you got to go to those PTA meetings.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
That my mom, and it's just that's life,
Yeah, I know.
Did you ever get up at those PTA meetings and just raise hell about something?
No.
No.
I just sit there and soak it up, and I go, okay. See ya. Because really, it's basically they just tell you what's going on, and it's like, I already know what's going on.
Right.
Wolfie tells me.
Yeah.
He loves it. He has a great time. And the teacher digs him. She's really great.
Well, she should be teaching him how to go through all those tapes, Eddie.
Yeah, that's what should happen.
Well, I had a miniature Wolfgang guitar built for him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I tune it in a chord, so you can just strum it.
Yeah.
And he jams on it, man. He has a great groove.
Isn't that great?
He's got a great pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, are you using the Marshall, the PV 5150? I know that one guy, there was some guy came in, I remember reading, and got your old Marshall running really well. And so do you switch between the two, or?
I use the 5150s, and every now and then I'll go back and try the Marshall, but I don't know, I'm always searching, there's never something that I stick with,
Right.
So right now, we're in the process of designing a 5150/2, which will do more than this one. This one basically was designed to just balls to the wall. It doesn't really have a great clean sound.
And you have some modifications in there as well, don't you?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No. What I play is what's being sold.
Yeah.
There's no tricks. There's nothing.
Yeah, I do. I understand totally.
About the old Marshall, that there was a guy named Jose Arredondo, who I felt like helping him out. The guy needed money, so I hate lying, but I people always want to know what I used.
Right.
But it's a stock Marshall. All he ever did was retube it for me. But no one believed it.
Right, that's right, yeah.
Jose modified it. He did this, he did that, and it gave a lot of business. This amp is completely stock. He never did anything except retube it.
And you're still using that ginseng? I remember when we were backstage with you, you pounded that stuff, and
well, yeah, I don't know if it really works or not.
Well, you know what, Ed is like Damon. We've talked to him before from Brother Kane, and we were he's a good friend of ours, and he was talking about how he would watch you with that stuff, and he tried it, and he ended up a nervous wreck when it hit his system. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was just like, whoa.
Maybe that's why I'm always nervous.
Maybe that's what it is. That's it, man. Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked you if you missed partying, because I quit cigarettes for 2 years twice, and I just missed them all the time.
Yeah,
so I was always looking for...
Cigarettes are a toughie. Smoking is a dirty, filthy habit, but I'm telling you, I started playing guitar, smoking, and drinking at the age of 12. And so for about 29, 30 years, I did it one way. And, the booze is no longer in the picture. I mean, I've slipped a few times, I'm not, nobody's
Superman,
perfect.
yeah.
But, I'm over the actual whatever. I don't, you know.
That'd have to be tough.
I do. I can stop after a beer.
Yeah. See, because I do overdrink. There's absolutely no question. I can't. I actually can't imagine.
I used. You know, it's kind of like, hey, if one's good, 10 is better. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I feel this minute.
It's a funny little story. When Sammy first joined the band, Al and I used to drink like, I mean, we go through a case of Schlitz malt balls, 16 ounces, you know, a day.
Schlitz malt?
Schlitz malt.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that stuff 20 years ago.
Small liquor, the stuff that gets you there quicker.
Oh, Christ, man, I'm
Anyway,
telling you.
so about a month later, Sammy goes, wow, I thought you guys were like drinking and partying because you were happy because I was in the band. I'm going, no. This is what we do every day.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing you don't live by Canada because they've got these maximum Labatts, you know.
Yeah.
And what a kickstart those are. It's like 2 in 1, like 7.3s, you know.
Yeah.
So, Eddie, when you quit drinking, was it almost like you had to relearn to play the guitar?
I tell you, I was a nervous wreck.
Oh, man.
The first gig was Pensacola, Florida, for the Balance Tour.
Yeah.
And on top of just being totally nervous, MTV is filming it live.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, God, what else can you lay on?
But Eddie, can't you...
I said to myself, I can make it through this gig. I can do anything.
But you couldn't say, go to hell not the first night of the tour, come back another night?
Oh, sure you can. But,
you can.
you know, then you burn the bridge.
Right, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's like, yeah, you can be a prick about it if you want.
Well, I don't think it's unfair to say, hey, you know, I'm really getting past something here. Could you give me a few dates before you come? I mean, they would have come back. I'm just telling you, for your own good.
I don't know. Whatever. I made it through, and, you know,
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason, and I made it through, and it made me better, stronger.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Isn't that weird? Eddie Van Halen, after all these years and everything else, actually goes on stage a nervous wreck. Isn't that bizarre?
Every night.
It's bizarre.
Wait till he quits smoking.
I tell you, every night, man, I'm a nervous wreck before we go on stage. Sometimes to the point where I actually throw up before we go on.
Damn.
But once I get up on stage, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it's like, yeah.
Then you're into it.
Look, you know, one great thing is the circle is complete now. I mean, Gary is one of us. He's a soulful, down-to-earth guy, and we're going to go around the world. We've never been to Australia. We've never been, you know, well, in 11 years, went to Europe twice.
And then that's where you're open for Bon Jovi, right? That was
I don't consider it opening.
Yeah.
It was a festival, and we were one of the bands. John got a little uptight a few nights because we kind of, you know,
tore it up
away.
You know, we took care of business. You know? And then he came back and opened his show with what he was using for the encore. with the smoke bombs and the whole shebang.
Smoke bombs.
Which was the finale of the shows before.
Yeah.
Eddie, thanks so much. I really appreciate all the time, and I know you've been talking to a lot of people, and we sure enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Eddie, you're my absolute hero, and they have to come out with a poster of just you with the guitar because I'm sick and tired of these posters. It's the wrong lead singer now, you know, all the time. Just make one goddamn poster of just you, please.
Oh God,
I'm begging you.
Get back to it, Eddie. We want to hear some more of that stuff real soon.
We'll get it out as soon as possible. You know, it's just you know, it's been a rough 6 months.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I know you're going through hell.
But
well, I hope
all this shall pass too.
Yeah. I all the best with your ma. I hope that that works out okay. And
she's 81 years old, and she beat ovarian cancer.
Wow, that's something else, man.
So, I mean, the doctors are saying you're going to make some kind of medical history here, lady. You know,
man.
I'm just hoping I have a little bit of her stock. You know.
Well, thanks again, Eddie.
You're very welcome.
Hope we talk to you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Hey,
happy holidays.
Thanks a lot.
You too.
Hey, bye.
play for you what we heard out of Eddie's studio during the commercials.
Oh, that was really incredible. Yeah,
But that'd be the last we'd hear of Eddie.
I know it. That's just it. We don't, I know.
But he
it
played
was great, man.
He played it, and then afterwards he says, oh, by the way, I can't do this on the air.
I know, after the fact.
However, the tape was rolling. So
It was.
Could make an editorial decision,
We
but
haven't.
we won't do that.
But I tell you what, it was in terms of, because everybody's talking about this new record, what it's going to sound like. I mean, we've heard about this piano piece, and Ed singing, and then there's some funky stuff, and then there's some rock stuff, and all I know is that what he played just rocked. I mean, it was just
his part, though, because he was telling the engineer, hey, put the part with the rest of the band in
Yeah,
there.
right,
And,
right.
By that time, the commercial was almost ending, and then he said we couldn't play it anyway.
Couldn't play it. Yeah, but it was good.